Hubba, 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 bubba, 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 hubba, bubba, bubba. Bubba, bubba.
One of my students today had a terrible brain fart. It lasted like a whole week. So we're reading a little sci-fi story from 1946. Right, and they're trying to interpret it, to translate it. And they're having a lot of trouble doing it. No small part, because they translate every word and every separate sentence as a separate sentence and separate words. So I don't know what this means. It's like, okay, cool. What is this story about? It's about a planet, about a bunch of people crashing on a planet, right? So in that context, what would a metal seed mean? Seed made out of metal. Sounds like a spaceship, right? And they had like a, mind blown. Like, wow, we're reading a sci-fi story about spaceships? And there's a metaphor for a spaceship? Oh my god. How terrible. Anyhow, let's go back to
Done?
our Unearthed Arcana. Yes. Look, it was just terrible. I'm just out of that lesson. It was horrible.
It's fine, Como. We're here for something else that is also horrible. Namely,
I know, right?
Wizards of the Coast pretend that they know how to make a fucking game.
I don't.
They really don't. But my main problem, and I'm going to preface this, I'm going to be talking a lot about. A lot of people are analyzing this, and they're like, ugh, my balance. I'm going to analyze this from the perspective of 5th edition needs an update, 5th edition's audience, and the frameworks that exist for role playing game analysis. And what I'm going to bring it down to, and wag my little finger, I think this does nothing that the people who play 5th edition, that don't play 5th edition, want or need. At all.
Yep.
Because I think a lot of those people, they don't give a crap about the rules. They don't care about the gamist elements of the system design, of the rules and everything. What they want is something for story, because they love their little, oh man, you do the cool hero thing, yeah! They love that narrativist, that drama, that this is what happens because the plot, this is where it happens, you know? And the others are people who want some more, some groundedness, some genre emulation. And this brings none of that. It brings fucking balance patches. The last thing a role playing game should ever need. Because if you need balance patches, I don't know where you are, man, but.
I mean, look, it's a single player game. Why balance it?
Ouch.
Let everybody have a lot of fun.
You're right. You're right. You're right. All right. Here
Better
we go.
yet, instead of nerfing good things, just buff bad things.
Here we go. I'm going to read it. Unearthed Arcana 2022. Expert Classes. This document is the second in a series of Unearthed Arcana documents. A series of Unearthed Arcana articles that present material designed for the next version of the Player's Handbook. The material here uses the rules in the 2014 Player's Handbook, except where noted. Providing feedback on this document is one way you can help shape the next generation, except it's not a new edition. We're not changing anything. You can still use all the old stuff that we tell you can use. This is so 3.5 that it's just a big fucking marketing spiel. It's ridiculous. And it's the same stupid gamist update too. History repeats itself, and I'm laughing my little ass off.
I mean, look, after like what happened last year in summer, it's just bound to happen. They don't understand how anything works. They just kind of throw things at a wall and see what old sock sticks.
All right.
It's
well,
gross.
What do we get inside the following document? We get the expert classes. 3 classes appear in this document, each a member of the expert group. The Bard, the Ranger, and the Rogue. Each class appears with 1 subclass. Ooh, we actually get to playtest something. More subclasses appear in Unearthed Arcana in the months to follow. Which,
you know what's actually neat about this is that they're consistent with their previous stuff. Because the minions are also considered to be the rogue bard / ranger are considered to be expert psychics. It's kind of neat. At least there's some consistency.
Feats. There's more feats. Feats for levels, high levels, low levels, baby levels. Baby man.
Oh my god, it's
the 3
almost
lists
like
are
they have a
completely.
feet fetish.
the feats are completely written out. God damn it. People have been making that joke since 3.5 Como. God damn it.
I know, right?
Could you at least make it on Pathfinder 2nd Edition?
Oh my god.
Because everything is a fucking feat in that one.
I mean, look, people like their feeties. It's only the most common human body obsession.
Anyway, rules glossary. There's also going to be some new rules and some changes. If anything is in the other one and it's not in this one, it never happened. Nah, that's not what they're doing. They were pretty upfront that they were going to fuck around a whole bunch. So everyone being like, oh, they got rid of the crit. No. No. It was either a land they were already going to slaughter. Don't think so highly of yourself, fuckers. This is playtest material. Sure isn't. This article present because we still don't have monsters, so we still don't know how that's going to work out. This article is presented for playtesting and feedback. The material is experimental and is in draft form. This is not. So you're giving us experimental and draft. Pick one. Either it's a draft and you're just like gauging the waters, or it's experimental. Like what I read here is this is not finished and not solidified. We don't know what the fuck we're doing. We don't know what we're gonna do with it. Call it one or the other. I get it. It's like, oh, but nerds don't understand it. Because after the GTA thing, I imagine that WotC's like shitting its pants going, oh, goddamn, people are going to think this is the finished game, aren't they? And they are. Because they're already like, oh, man, the crit rules. They changed it.
Yep.
We saved the day. It isn't officially part of the game. I'd be very upset if they officially released something that is experimental and in draft form. WotC. But I'm being pedantic. Our feedback will help determine it's going to be the same shitty one, where you get to say if you like it or don't like it. That's all you get to say. Nothing else. And you get to write it in a little comment box that's too small and has no formatting or safe drafts. We invite you to play. You are welcome to combine this. You're welcome. Don't actually do it because you're going to have to ignore the rules section. But you are welcome to combine it. Don't forget, we posted it directly after everyone hated Spelljammer, which was totally not coincidental. If you combine it with the previous one, use the... Exactly what I said. Ugh. They just know. Which makes this whole draft thing sound weird, because this sounds like premeditated murder. In the previous Unearthed Arcana series, the rules glossary... Okay, so why is that in italics, but like your cool little title isn't? Is you afraid that lawyers can't read italicized text? Ah, the next one is always the right one, which feels...
Revision is based on bold text.
Yes. Official is
Alex
based. No, it's based on markings. It's because I know the lawyers love to use highlighters. It's based on if something is highlighted or not. To play this material, you can incorporate it into your campaign and fucking hate it, or you can run one of the special playtest sessions. Unlike Pathfinder, who, you know, Paizo's like a smaller company and they have less resources, but they made a fucking adventure just to test it. We're not gonna do that. Which I think is dumb. I don't think that's very smart. Like, come on, WotC, come on. You can make a crappy adventure that shows a couple of monsters. And everyone's like, ooh, monsters. But no, it's like, nah, just throw it in a 5e campaign. I'm sure it's fine. In which case, for such a session, you may want to create an adventure of your own. You know, make a whole party out of bards. And I love that it's like, hey, by the way, buy this other shit we have. We're not going to make you one for free. You have to buy some of our shit. Our sales were not good enough, so here's a reason to bump those. Power level. They may be more or less powerful. I've heard this actually holds up. Like, these classes are... So, feedback. What's ahead? They're going to give us revised versions of every class from the handbook. They're going to give us 48 subclasses, including the subclass in this article, new and revised spells. I hope to God those spells reflect the nerfs they did to some of the martial potential in this. Because if it doesn't, I don't know if anyone's waiting on that one. New and revised feats, well, that's already happening. New weapon options for certain classes, already technically happening. A new system for creating a home base for your characters. I don't know if this should... Like, this is already starting to cross a boundary about what 5th edition or Dungeons & Dragons even is. And I'm having a big hate boner for, like, everything D20 related for a bunch of reasons. Revised and counter-building rules. Like, this happens regardless. That's just how development works. And new and revised monsters, which... I get it, like, a whole bunch of people aren't going to watch the video, but... As the playtest progresses, you find new versions, blah, blah, blah. Let's move on. The parts of a class. Primary ability score. You know the thing that Pathfinder did? Because Pathfinder realized that people need to be pointed and told, listen, please, for the love of God, this is what matters. Please. Please stop making 8 in Wizards. I've already made my argument, by the way, that I think ability scores are fucking stupid. I think they don't capture...
I'll play
Hmm?
I'll play an 8 int wizard,
In
but I
5e you
wouldn't play it
can.
all the time.
In 5e you can. In Pathfinder 1e you can't. In Pathfinder 2e you might as well shoot yourself in the head. Actually, you can do it just fine.
Yeah, because you need at least 13
I
to
don't think you
multiply.
get anything out of it in 2nd edition. Like, your DCs and attacks go up, but as a spellcaster, you don't want to be doing anything with attack rolls and DCs anyway.
Mm.
And in 5th edition, you can easily build a character that just does buffs. Yeah, so, casters, do what you want. Ta-da-ta-ta-ta-ta. Anyway, your primary ability is the ones that matter. If you increase those, can't go wrong. They're masterworks all, as they say. Finally, and people reminded me of this, multiclassing is now core, otherwise they wouldn't make such a big freaking deal about it in the primary ability section. They really want you to multi-class, which is probably wink, wink, nudge, nudge, because they know that not everyone wants to play a party of just these guys. So if you just make a multi-class, they can kind of get into it. Class groups. They make class groups. I heard a theory that the reason they're doing this is because they want to make sure that everyone has the X, the Y, and the Z, but they don't want to make it the X, the Y, and the Z. So they're like, hey, you can pick the groups X, Y, and Z. Ho, ho, ho. So, can I just put my little baby hands on my little baby sides and wiggle my little baby butt at the camera and go, isn't this what 4th edition did? Well, let's see. You wanna talk about it? You wanna have a little chat about party rolls? Just wanna have a little seat next to me, right over here? Because looks to me like you're trying to do that without doing that. Just saying, kind of bringing it back. You can admit that 4th edition had some good ideas, because it did. You might want to steal some of them. Like minions, they're nice. But minions are a narrativist concept. They're not. They can be any, actually. The thing about minions is that they're technically agnostic within the threefold model, because from drama perspective, minions are mooks. Make them go away. From a gamist perspective, they're just pieces with different HP rules, and from a simulationist perspective, most genres have mooks that you just throw away. So, yeah, mooks are agnostic in the system. They're in the middle. Anyway, what groups do we have? We have the garbage bin, in which the artificer goes, which caught me off guard. They get expertise, which now officially is called that. Don't forget, in the original 5th edition game, you just have proficiency and add your modifiers twice. It's not called expertise. The class feature is called expertise. Now, expertise is a standalone term. They did it. They gave it to Ranger, which I kind of agree with. Bard, yeah, sure. Rogue, I can't disagree there. And also elements of other classes, which so far I've not seen. Maybe what they actually mean is that they kind of combine conceptual ideas of other classes, because Rogue just rogues. And also, technically, Eldritch Knight's probably coming back, so we've got our mages, aka the people with the gun in their hand. They start at the letter S and go up from there. They're good at arcane magic, which is a magic focused on everything you ever need. You have priests.
Pretty much.
You in the priest section, you have your cleric, your druid, and your paladin. I don't know what a paladin's doing here, but stewards of divine and primal magic, focused on healing, utility, and defense.
Well, the paladin is there because they're a half-caster that's using
No,
wisdom.
no,
That's
no, no,
really
no,
the
no,
only
no, no,
thing.
no, 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 no. Shh, shh, shh. Why is the bard here then?
Because he is a charisma. Oh, he is a charisma caster, so he should be with the mages then.
He should be somewhere else, because I think he uses arcane. So,
He does use more arcane, but
listen.
I think it would be better if they just split it the way that. Oh, I mean, holy shit! Kill me for using Dark Souls as a reference, but sorceries, pyromany, what is pyromancies, and the miracles. This is the best way to do it. Magic of the human soul, magic of the inner kind of like flame, and then literally believing into the stories they recite
Tomo,
that they
that requires them to have a setting, and they don't want to have a setting.
Of course, yeah, I know. Ugh.
It's almost like being a simulationist is very difficult when you don't have a setting or genre upon which to base yourself other than generic slurry.
Gross.
It's soup. Anyway, the priests
Yeah,
are.
that's why
By the
other
way,
systems that are actually saying, "Hey, we have a setting," are much better.
I
We've tested
also
a few of those.
want to point out the term priest, kind of an interesting choice in a modern setting to call a thing priest. You know,
Yeah,
because that's like way more like this is called cleric because it's slightly less religious sounding, but here they're straight up like, yeah, priest.
That's weird because there has been some pretty bad optics
I can't
forced
wait for the
everywhere.
second Satanic Panic.
Oh my god, that would be fucking hilarious.
Finally, we have the Punchy Boys. The Punchy Boys are the punchiest boy, and this fucking nerd.
The monk.
Why isn't the rogue or the ranger has way more fighter in his blood when you look at third edition and everything? I mean, I get it. I get
Who
why,
made this?
but
Who
I feel
who made this table?
they wanted to split it into exactly 3 in each.
That's lame.
Come on. As someone who's tried to make things before, the temptation of making things fit neatly is huge, but it's stupid, and you ultimately just shoot yourself in the foot. Unless they
That's
plan to
true.
rework the monk in the same way that second edition Pathfinder did, this isn't true. Monks are shit, and they are kind of experts more than anything. Anyway, they're masters of combat who can deal and endure many wounds. Except for the monk, he can't deal wounds, he can't take wounds, and he just kind of lies on the ground and cries to himself about how few key points he has. The Barbarian. The Barbarian is, by the way, one of the few classes to actually interact with crits in such a way that I think that you should make crits more than a funny mechanic, because they're the only class that resists crits because of their constant damage resistance, and like
Yes,
inflicts better ones because they have advantage on all attacks with reckless, and it also
I
makes them
love it.
resist. There's so much about a Barbarian with crits that just interfaces nicely that no one else has. Not even the champion has it technically.
Yeah, they
What?
also have extra critical die.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Eh.
Anyway, a class group has no rules other than some prerequisites. Basically, it's a little tag. It's a tag. Just define what a tag is. Move on from there, because you can do it more often then. Organizational stuff is nice. Only members might attune to a particular item, so it's a tag. Just call it a goddamn tag. Because that's what everyone calls those things nowadays. When creating a party of adventure, remember to have one of each. You don't have to pick this guy, but paladins can heal. Nobody in the fucking world goes to a paladin and goes, "Oh man, he's got divine magic." He has lay on hands because he has to, and all his slots are like reserved for smites, even though, as Treant Monk says, they're not bad spellcasters. But no one wants to do that stuff. Because they could
I
smite on
do.
a crit. Yay! Anyway,
I
creating a
mean,
member of the
screw
class.
smite.
I think there's a large disconnection in 5e right now, and especially in 1D&D, between the people that play the game, that are on Reddit, and what they think the game should be and is. There's a disconnect there, and it ain't good. And I don't think it's going to work out for them in a way that they think it will. Anyway, class description. They gain armor training. Okay, let's talk about this. Get out of here. I'm going to pull up the old ones. Okay, so originally characters didn't have armor training. They just had, what was it called? I think they just had armor proficiency. That's it. Unless this is like accidentally and they just control F'd it and replaced it, and this wasn't supposed to be like underscored and hot and like uppercased and everything, which is possible. And I will laugh my ass off if that was not intended, because armor training I think is a feat. Is it actually? Let's check it out. Let's check it out. Feats. I wanna wiggle my little itty bitty feeties at the air. Actor, athlete. Nope, it's not. I'm just dumb. Anyway, subclasses. Everyone gets a subclass. However, with this book, unless you can't. Like, this backwards compatibility, remember when they said that was going to be a thing? It's just like 3.5. They're lying and shitting down your mouth and saying it's actually chocolate. And people are just as fooled. They change things, and so many people are angry. They move the capstone down, which is a weird thing to do. I get why. No one ever gets to 20th level, but I've said it before. Compress the level. Compress. No one plays 20 levels. No one. The few people that do are playing D&D Classic style, and they can play any other version if they want to, including just 5th edition. Anyway, Bards, they're experts. Their primary ability is charisma. Everything else, don't need it. Just make everything an 8. Make your charisma 15. The rest of the points, just cash them in for some extra cash. You need nothing. Dexterity. Who needs that with light armor? You've got light armor. Who needs constitution? For what? Saving throws? Concentration? This feels so disingenuous. Just make primary and secondary. Give everyone dexterity and constitution for secondaries. You know you want to. Everyone needs con. I think they actually did that in 4th edition, though. Or in Pathfinder 2. I don't know, one of the two did it. Anyway, you dance. And you make sound. And everyone's like, that's pretty cool. Almost anything can inspire a new song or tale. So they're fascinated by everything. Oh, not everyone's a bard. I hate this. So
Surprisingly enough,
much.
I've never played a bard.
Oh. I mean, to be fair, you play the same dude over and over again. You have plenty of chances.
I mean, that's fair enough. I've played a lot more than just a cleric. It's just that with you, for some reason, just happened to always be a cleric.
I love that they go like the words of creation. What the fuck are they? When the creators of Multiverse spoke to its resistance on every single fucking plane, it's like, okay, this is how they work. No matter where you put these motherfuckers, this is how they work. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't like this. This I don't like for a very specific reason. In 3.5, this was cute because the whole system was like, everyone's the same. And it kind of worked from that angle. But it doesn't work here. The main reason being, monsters are whatever the hell they want to be, which means that giving everyone a class description doesn't quite work. Classes are a player construct. They are a design template for players. But making them a thing doesn't sit right with me. Again, in 3.5, everyone is everything because that's just how it works. Just minor details, but it bugs me. Anyway, here we have the class chart. Let's take a look at the class chart on the original version. Let's have a look-see. Cantrips. Oh, it's not cantrips known. They don't have spells now. Oh, yeah, because I forgot. Everyone is a prepared caster now. We'll get to that in a moment. But I don't think the cantrip progression is
Really?
touched. Yeah. And they're not like wizard prepared. They're like cleric prepared. Everyone.
That's weird.
Yeah, I wonder how they're going to offset that. Again, they need to nerf spells because if they're going to keep that, game busted. Exploded. Just broken. Because if anyone can pick anything from their list selection, like, I don't think that 5th edition knows anything about how people play the game, especially with some of the weird changes they made. Like, the game component from this gamist gamey game is just falling apart at the seams. Anyway, you get slots. I don't think they're changed because, to be fair, it's a fine spell table. I still think you could just smush it down to half the levels, but whatever. Do what you want, WotC. I don't care. I don't think the die size has changed, although they integrate it into its own column instead of being like weirdly smooshed together with the rest. We get a Song of... let's see. I think it's mostly the same. Like, something shuffled around, but that's not really relevant. That's minor details. Odds are you started level 3 anyway, because that's what everyone fucking starts, because you don't have enough hit points to do anything at 1st and 2nd level. So unless you want to die, just don't go there. Anyway, to create a bard, consult the following list to determine your basic garbage. If you're 1st level character, please read the starting equipment section. If you aren't 1st level, you start nude. Because you don't consult the starting equipment section in that case. That is pedantic, and I hate myself for saying it, but whatever. What do we get? We get 1d8 hit points. I think that's the same. Yeah, that's the same. So this is all the same. I think it's comical. I think it's hilarious and stupid, and I want to bonk them on the head. Why are you still making rolled HP the default? Why? Why, Wizard? No one does this anymore. Not the people that care about that are actually buying your game. Maybe some Redditors do, but don't listen to the Redditors, WotC. They don't know what everyone else is doing.
And I like rolling for it.
I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad thing to have, but I think they should swap the numbers. I think they should make the flat number the first one, and then between the parentheses, the one that no one people that don't want to bother with all the just want to play D&D,
Yeah, exactly. It would send an entirely different message. Yeah, I like that idea.
Anyway, they're keeping saving throws for all ability scores, but that might be a backwards compatibility thing, so that they can keep this, slotted in. Anyway, before, your skills were any 3. And now it's any 3, but they're giving you some suggestions. I don't like this. This confuses people. Because similar with the backgrounds thing, they're kind of, these are the ones you should take. But why is it? Why deception? Why not intimidation? Like, ugh. I love that it's like dexterity is one of your saving throws, but it's not a primary ability score. Don't increase your dexterity. It's not important. Although, to be fair, with how pretty much ability scores are like very downplayed, they're very much going to an AD&D of like, they're used for some things, but not much. Anyway, simple weapons. They've changed what some simple weapons are. I think short swords became simple weapons. Before, together with rogues and wizards, these guys used to belong to the section of having completely arbitrary selections on what they can and can't do. Armor training is this weird subheader that I don't know why it's like this. I guess there were some problems with people understanding armor proficiency, because otherwise this has no purpose of being here. But yeah, simple weapons. Some things change around. Originally, I think they also got the hand crossbows, long swords, rapiers, and short bows. Right? Or am I thinking of... let me pull up the 3.5 one, see if I got myself mixed up. Let's see. Oh, and 3.5, they had a d6 hit die. But to be fair, everyone sucked. Yeah, they got the longsword, rapier, sap, short sword, short bow, and whip. Man, the bards got robbed of their cool whips. Anyway, starting equipment. 100 gold pieces. That's a nice amount of money. In the old version, you could do 5d4 times 100 gold pieces. Or you could pick the pre-selected package. I imagine this is quite similar to that. Short swords is underscored because it's now a simple weapon. Musical instruments underscored because its pricing has changed. If I recall correctly. Moving on. Multiclassing, I don't care if you aren't originally a bard, a bardo. You get a skill and one musical instrument, which I think is how it used to work too. You also got light armor training. Yep. And you get your spell slots. Spells change. I think you no longer get like specific spell slots. You just smash all of your levels together, and that's just how many slots you have. And you prepare according to your classes. So, if I am a 3rd level bard, and I'm also a 2nd level sorcerer, then I'm technically going to use this section, but I cannot prepare 3rd level spells because none of my classes have 3rd level slots. I think is how that preparation is supposed to work, which I like because it makes multiclassing impossible with spellcasters. That being said, I just remembered that there's lots of spells you can upcast that are pretty decent, so... Oh well, moving on. Bard features. First one. Here we go. Bardic Inspiration. In case you... Let me get a drink. I don't know people who do that. I don't know whether people think that's alright. Bardic Inspiration used to be as a bonus action within people. They get 10 minutes to use your funny die, and they get to add it to, I think, pretty much any 20 test. Pretty much the same here. However, it's a reaction now. I hope reactions get a bit of a tweak, because I can think of a few other things they might want to spend their reaction on. The shield spell, absorb elements, counter spell. Just a few stray thoughts. It does mention potentially turning it to a success. Considering you start with the d6, it's a +1 to +6. I mean, average 3, but like, hey, if 1 is all you need, you've got a guaranteed success. Heal. This is awful. This is so bad. I think whoever wrote this should jump off a cliff because he's stupid and doesn't know what he's talking about. Within 60 feet, as a reaction. By the way, the requirement is you can see or hear. They can be deaf and blind and still be affected. I guess the idea is that you can see them to target them, and you can hear them in the sense that you can communicate your words to them. I guess is the idea. More than they need to listen. You're using magic, blah blah. Who cares? The point is you can use your reaction, roll the die. That's how many hit points they get back. This would be better if it was you roll an amount of dice according to their level or their con score or something. Because the way this falls off like nobody's business in like 2 levels. Just like that. Like, oh, I can heal a d8, or I can give someone a 1d8 to hit. It's a bit of a hard pinch. Reaction, though, does mean that it's basically a super strong healing word with its own resources. So that's nice. Don't worry, you will not die in this edition. Number of uses equal to your proficiency, because that's just how things work around here. Long rest recovery.
Everybody keeps telling me it's like you can't die in 5e. And I point to like about a dozen DMs in a row that I've managed to TPK the whole party. Well, admittedly, they were acting dumb.
This one is way more powerful because don't forget,
everybody dies.
This lets you avoid going to dying at all.
This one is the only healing spell that actually works in combat.
Because it's a reaction. And that's not good. Anyway, spellcasting. Let's go talk about how spellcasting works in the future of Dungeons and Dragons. I've learned to cast spells through my bardic arts. I almost said barbaric arts. Although a lot of bards do behave like barbarians. Ho ho. The information below tells you how to work it. You have the following spells prepared: Color Spray, Disguise Self, Prestidigitation, and Vicious Mockery. Note how they pile together cantrips and conventional spells. They are trying to make them similar. They are now officially also calling them level 0 spells, and so, yeah, they got it. Anyway, you can also just prepare whatever the hell you want. Again, going with suggestions first, open options later. Any spell you prepare for this class must come from the Arcane Spell list, and must be an arcane spell, and must use one of the following schools of magic: Divination, future telling, enchantment, fucking with people's minds. You know, the nicest. Illusion and transmutation. I bet you that by the time this edition releases, this is going to have. We're going to be in a future where this is such a thing that people are like, that's the evil school. And it won't even just be the people that know what enchantment magic implies.
And look, people are absolutely fucking insane.
Elon Musk wants to put chips in people's brains. If we ever get there, this school of magic is on the way out.
Well, they're called crisps, but that's fine.
The very crunchy, I know.
I think if people would have chips in their heads, that would drive the overall average IQ high. Because holy shit, judging by my students, they could use a few computer bits and pieces in their brains.
I'm sure it couldn't hurt. Whenever you finish a long rest, you can replace whatever the hell spell you want. At higher levels, you can prepare more spells shown on the bar table. The number there determines... It doesn't... What about multiclassing? Yeah, I think the idea is at all your bar levels to the appropriate levels from other class. Oh. Okay. No, I was right. Yeah, so if you dip in like every spellcaster class, you might have like 7th level casting. But you only have level 1 slots. Level 1 spells. But hey, who needs more than that? Yeah, you can just replace them. So everyone is a prepared cleric caster, and I think the reason they did it is the other 2 versions of spells known, the pact casting and the sort of other version of wizard, really didn't need to exist. They just no one cared. No one cared about that granule. It's interesting and fun, but like what actually defined wizards as having less known spells known never really worked, and everyone just got angry about how few spells they got and they weren't any better than anyone else. And you could just dip into a feat or a class and just get meta. It just didn't work out, I imagine. Or people complained, or complexity was an issue. Anyway, spells marked with a dagger in the section are always prepared. Always prepared. The Bartage, how many spell slots you have? Pick your slots. The 5th level bard, you can have so many slots. Your spellcasting ability is charisma. You can use them as a spellcasting focus. So pluck those strings, baby. You get expertise. Performance and persuasion are iconic choices for a bard if you have proficiency in them. I don't know if this implies you need to be proficient first. I think it did in the original. Expertise, special feature. If you gain it, you gain it in a skill which you have proficiency. Okay, gotcha. Alright, let's move on. We don't have all day. Oh yeah, we get some always prepared spells. They are Healing Word, aka the one most people tend to care about. We get Lesser Restoration, aka the one that everyone forgets exists. Mass Healing Word, which is just nice to have. Freedom of Movement and Greater Restoration. You might notice that it also stops at 10th level, which is weird. Wait, let me go over here. What is Healing Word? Or should I say it in the Japanese way? Healing Wordo. Yeah, they can't access it normally. It's probably on the Divine list somewhere. So this allows for cross-list pollination. Then you get a subclass. Then we get a feat. Then we get Jack of all trades, which no longer applies to initiative. They make it only apply to ability checks. That uses a skill proficiency that we lack. So, it's nice and simple. Again, technically, ability check, skill proficiency applies. That's how it's supposed to work. No one ever does this. I wonder if they're going to clarify that at some point. Extra bold text. Anyway, at 7th level, you get the feature that you care about. And this is where I really start to feel like this got some 4th edition DNA that I think they should just get rid of. 7 levels in, and you get something that really should have been there way sooner. Whenever you roll, you have at this point like what? 3? You have like 3 bardic inspirations to use per long rest. And now you get a feature that lets you use it again if you roll a 1 with it. And now you get it back on a short rest. I don't know how to feel about this. Like, a core feature of this class is just like, you get to use it twice per day. Ho ho! Then you better use some cantrips.
At least it's not your wisdom modifier times per day or proficiency per
also, remember when I said that you can infinitely, like, bring people... Technically speaking, if you roll, like, absolute garbage, you can infinitely bring back your allies with this. Because you just use your reaction, make him stand up again. Oh, I rolled a 1. Get that one back. Oh, I rolled a 1. Get it back. Oh, I rolled a 1. Get it back.
Isn't that? Well, I mean, I suppose so. Isn't that what?
A party of bards is a non-stop rock concert.
I mean, that's well depends on the genre of music that they're doing.
They're casting cantrips. They're using healing word as a bonus action, and then throwing around the rest. Just
That's why you
every.
focus on the medic. That's why you focus on the doctor. Kill that
But
bastard
what if they're
first.
all doctors, Como? What if one's a chiropractor and the other's a homeopath?
Well, if they're all doctors, then that probably means that the medical degree is oversaturated, and so they're probably have no experience and never worked in the field.
Como at 8th level, you get another feat.
Oh my god,
9th level,
really?
you gain 2 more expertises. Oh my, you're getting spoiled. Look at these incredible class features. Look at this, Como. Look at how fast and dynamic your
On
character progresses. Look at how
on the
much
one
happens.
on the one thing, I would love to have expertise, at least one in something. I think every class should have at least one,
You know
and
how
then some
people
classes just get more.
always complain about dead levels? Well, don't worry. The bards kept their 2 dead levels. They just got shifted to 13th and 17th instead of 11th and 7th.
Don't remind me. I have dead levels, pun intended, all the time.
Again, just have less levels. Watsy.
Exactly.
You don't need all these levels. You don't need all these spell levels. 3.5 did it. Fuck 3.5. You're not doing 3.5. Anyway, at 11th level, you can pick 2 spells from another list or class. So you can pick Arcane. It can be from any school. But don't forget, you have to pick a spell list. So you can go Arcane and pick anything that isn't Divination, Enchantment, Illusion, and all that stuff. Or you can pick
Hmm.
Divine Primal and go from that. You can't say, I'm going to pick this from Arcane and this from Primal. So basically, it's just nice. You just get some extra spells you can throw around. Wait, technically speaking, oh no, when you prepare spells for this class, that's actually garbage. You don't even increase the amount of spells you can prepare. You can just pick 2. Ugh. That's that might as well be a dead level. Let's just scrub that one out. That's not all that exciting. Neither is expertise at this point. Like you've already had expertise, and what are you really doing? Like there's so many here where I'm like, that's not that exciting, is it? Like you just spent like what 15 sessions in getting those 13 fights you need, or your GM finally decides you passed enough milestones. God damn it! Like I said, the experience system just needs to fucking go, compress the levels down, make it easier. Stop this. Stop these shenanigans to appease some people who came from Pathfinder. Ugh. Anyway, but I think it's because it's like, oh man, more levels means more content, except there's no content. It's like 4th edition. There's no content. There's nothing. It's just like here's a breadcrumb. If you get to 20th level, you might actually have a slice of bread. Anyway, my understanding is going even broader.
So you're telling me it's just the cake is alive from 2007, but like on an entirely new level. Huh.
The cake is a lie, but it's spread over every single year since that meme has existed.
Oh my god.
Anyway, you can choose another spell list, so you can basically go for Arcane. This is alright. The problem is you can't prepare 4 from the same one. You have to pick a different one. Very strange. 60th level, we get a feat. Yay, something actually happens. We get Superior Bardic Inspirations whenever we roll initiative, which is up to your GM. By the way, you can get into a fight and nothing happens because your GM is just like, yeah, just beat him up, or your GM just goes, yeah, you got fucked. So you regain 2 uses, which is like a third of yours. I guess that's nice. I mean, you get him back on a short rest. Like, I guess? Sure. 19th level, you gain another feat because the 20th is reserved for Epic Boon, which is also a feat, which makes these last 2 levels a bit goofy. Anyway, here's what to prepare. I don't why color spray? Really? I mean, I guess you don't have evocation, but like, really? Disguise self? You're still a combat game, 5e. Maybe. What could we get with this? What do we have? We have divination, enchantment, transmutation. Okay, I gotta figure this out. Let's take a look at the arcane list. What is a better one to have here? We have abjuration, right? No, we don't have abjuration. We have divination, enchantment, illusion, and transmutation. Ooh. Don't tell me the list is actually that bad. That there's like the good options. Well, Thunderwave is here. That's not worth taking. Tasha Sidious. Sleep? Why not recommend sleep? That's way better. Silent Image is way better than Disguise Self for most purposes. Ugh, they're definitely gonna go for, yeah. there's no reason not to go to spell lists, go arcane, and then just pick up abjuration, because you can get this and that, or you can pick up an attack spell or mage armor, I guess. Oh, you can pick jump, long strider. Yeah, I don't know why they went with that one. They can even pick up freaking hex. Why would you pick up disguise, self, and color spray? Not my first choice for like baby's first level. Vicious Mockery is also kind of just shit. I don't want to brag about it, but it's just it's a meme cantrip. It's got terrible damage, poor save, for all intents and purposes. Anyway, then you can play Healing Word and Descend Whispers. Yay! Charm Person. Yeah, here, pick up some mind control. Pick up some bribes. Minor Illusion. Haste, not a bad choice. Can't go wrong, I think. I mean, slow is technically preferred, because it eats their action economy very, very harshly if it gets off. Especially in Pathfinder 2nd Edition, it's just a murder spell. Power Word Kill and Power Word getting a little sassy there, are we? You're a bard, just yell them to death.
I mean, you can. You can.
I'm just going to quickly look over the bard, see if there's anything.
Surprisingly enough, the only time I've ever seen anyone use a musical instrument was my Barbarian using a horn to distract enemies.
Anyway, oh, I forgot Song of Rest. Did I skip that feature? Oh, no, I guess they just... Song of Rest... Yeah, they just rolled Song of Rest up into the healing thing. Okay, gotcha. That's why I didn't see it. Yeah, Jack of all trades used to be different, but we already discussed that. Expertise used to be, if you're proficient in something, you just double your proficiency. 10th level, you can pick some more. Magical Inspiration. If a creature... Oh, there's an optional feature. If a creature has the Bardic Inspiration die, you cast them a spell, heals hit points or deals damage, they can add it to the roll. Oh, that's cute. Bardic Versatility is gone. Oh, no, that was an optional feature. You could throw some of your expertise around or replace cantrips. Cantrips in our spells, you can throw them around as much as you want. I think, yeah, we didn't see Counter Spell. Counter Charm, I mean. Counter Charm didn't show up. Which was, yeah, you can start a performance as an action. They have advantage on saving throws against Frightened or Charmed. Which is not that exciting. Song of Rest, Bardic Inspiration. Okay, this is pretty boring and pretty straightforward. And then Superior, which is now the 18th one. When you roll initiative and you have no uses left, you regain run use. Okay, this is way better. Okay, so nothing too exciting. This isn't too different. Let's see about the class, the subclass. Como. Ooh, let's get excited. We're going to see what a lore guy looks like.
Let's do that.
College of Lore. At 3rd level in the original version, you gain proficiency with 3 skills of choice. You also gain Cutting Words, which allows you to use your inspiration die on attack rolls, ability checks, damage rolls, and... Oh, that was always a reaction, so that hasn't changed with this one. But not saving throws. Alright, fair enough. I mean, to be fair, pretty strong if a wizard can debuff someone on their own things. Okay, you gain 3. Oh, you gain 3 specific ones. I imagine that was always intended or something. This is a bit more fair. Does mean that you're going to have to work around that. 3 levels without... 2 levels without getting what you want. Oh, and if you already have them, you can shuffle them around. Okay, that's fine. That's cute. That's alright. Although, it does mean... Since Arcane is actually worth having, and with everything they're doing, Cutting Words is pretty much the same, but you can't use it on damage rolls. I don't know why. I mean, I guess maybe damage rolls aren't that important. Cutting Inspiration. Let's take a look-see. Originally, you got additional magical secrets, which also changed. Yeah, originally you just got those. Okay. So, Cunning Inspiration, roll twice. Ooh, that's actually not bad. Although it does directly counteract this. So for 1 level, this is something you're happy to have, and then you're like, aww. But I don't want to roll twice. I want to roll once and keep them. Anyway, improved Cunning Words. You never use Cunning Words, you can do... Oh, that's just sad. That's just sad. So, you use this on someone to reduce it, and they take 1d8 game. Jesus, that's just sad. Why are you so stingy with damage, 5e? Get out of here. I mean, guess plus your charisma modifier, but like, I'm pretty sure at this point that vicious mockery does more. I mean, I guess it's guaranteed. It's on a reaction. But this is a limited resource you're spending that you could be spending on your friends or something. I don't know. Healing on your friends is more powerful than this ever will be when you think about it. But I've always complained about if you had a bard and you don't want more damage, so. Peerless skill. Whenever you make a resistance, roll add the number. Oh. Oh, another. Okay, so you can use this on yourself. That's cute. That's cute. Okay, not bad, but I do think it's very deflated. What do you think? Como?
Excuse me, I am distracted by the students. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, it's just somebody said they need to reschedule today. It's terrible.
Oh my god, the penguin that goes so chunks, huh?
Exactly, and those grapes look like chunks.
I have to show that to the Raukau chat because Raukau's doing an LP of Mario Galaxy.
Go ahead. Hope they enjoy it.
Courtesy of Como. I love how he waddles.
No, don't tell him it's courtesy of me.
And I love to imagine him going like, so, chunks, huh? Like he's a fucking gangster. You here to buy some chunks, huh? Paradox game, pop ass, up ass event, what? Nicaragua cuts diplomatic ties with the Netherlands, what?
I'm not entirely sure why, but that just happened. Anyway, that picture of the crocodile or alligator, that's my Thursday DM bullying me.
I did it in cold blood. I'm a reptile. Anyway, come, how do you feel about the bard? There's not that many changes, huh?
There's not a whole lot. It seems like they're just shuffling things around.
Yeah.
For not much reason. Like it's like
it feels like a magic trick, doesn't it?
Maybe it's like
they're like, oh, we're changing things, but nothing actually changed.
Can you pull up the original 5e bard table also next to this one, just so we could compare?
I'd rather not, but I can send you a link.
Okay, sure.
Here.
That would work as well.
Don't name them.
Just take a peek.
Because if WotC is looking, they're going to give me the side eye.
Yeah, also glad to see that 5e Tools is back online. I'm still using that backup thing.
Good job. You named them.
Yeah.
I told you not to specifically. Anyway, yeah. Same amount of dead levels, but this just looks. Why even have levels?
Move them down the line. Yeah,
why even have levels? Listen, what I see here is there's so much nothing in this. You can just say, here's a level up table. All your features, you get them at first level. Every level up is just for hit points. It's just for slots. It's just for some minor incremental improvements. I think people would like that way more. Because it always fucking sucks that it takes you a little while to get the thing you care about. Get out of your edit tools. I don't want to edit anything. But yeah, how do you feel? I think it's just like it's like they're like,
they're not,
yeah.
They're not really trying, it seems like.
What it feels
they want
like
to keep the class the same, but also change things. And in the end they just end up with nothing.
To me, what it feels like is they are going, oh no, this isn't a chocolate vanilla ice cream. This is a vanilla chocolate ice cream.
Yeah, see, they're just shuffling things around. Because look at this. They've moved the dead levels further down the line so that you don't actually see them during regular play. They will only annoy you on that one time where you actually get a campaign that goes to the 20th
I'm going to repeat what I said 1,000 times. I love how there's way less text for the ranger.
I mean, nobody likes rangers, apparently.
My big deal is, if people don't play past 10th level, why have them? They know this. They have the fucking data, and they're like, no, we're going to make him anyway. Ho ho.
Ugh.
Anyway, Ranger, he's an expert too. But he's also a martial. But he's also a spellcaster. Polymath. But not a full caster. But the bard... Whatever. Actually, nothing about the bard really screamed polymath to me. I guess he gets skills, but like... Skills are checkboxes and very freeform compared to the more mechanical implementations of like spells. But that's just... Yeah. Far from the hustle and bustle of cities, rangers are sitting in their own poop. They dig latrines. So they don't have to. And they also kiss nature so often that nature's like, here's some spells, leave me alone, or I got a restraining order. Tyrants. Some fairly specific language. Creating a ranger. Ranger gets armor training, they get stuff, they get 1d10. I think that's still the same. Because they're a fighty class. If they didn't get 1d10. It still kind of feels weird. Proficiencies. Strength and dex. Same as ever. Athletics, strength, and survival.
I don't think they will change proficiencies. They're kind of... They make sense, I guess.
Yeah. Originally, it was choose 3 from animal handling, athletics, insight, investigation, nature, perception, stealth, and survival. I think it's the same.
It's the same.
Yep. Anyway, I got the spell list. Let's see if it's all that much different. No, I think it's the same. Yeah, but they get cantrips now too. They don't have spells, no restrictions. They just have this restrictions. These restrictions. Okay, so far nothing too exciting. Rangers just ranging about. 1 dead level. Although I imagine that some of these features are going to be a bit disappointing.
And you are getting a level 5 spell, so at least there's that.
Simple and martial weapons, armor training, shield. Okay, this is all pretty much the same. No tools. Okay. Starting equipment 150 more than the bard, which is weird. You'd think the bard would have more money to spend, but I guess they're marshals. They need better stuff. Multi-classing. What do they get? Armor training. They gain... Okay, some stuff. Half your ranger levels. Okay, so they're a half caster officially. Okay, what did they get? What are their cool guy features? They gain expertise at first, unlike the bard, who takes a bit to get there. Favorite enemy is, as we have seen before, they get to point at someone, which used to be favorite foe, which I think is funny. They get to point. This feels like such a 3.5 appeal. Favorite foe, A, sounds better, B, it's an alliteration, and C, you're just doing this to keep the 3.5. Don't lie to me, Watsy. You're just doing this to make it sound like it's the same. Anyway, basically Hunter's Mark, which is a 1d6, which is just like... apparently, 2-weapon fighting doesn't do the thing anymore. What does it do anymore? Doesn't take your bonus action anymore, so this is fine. Funnily enough, the original favorite foe actually just spelled out what it did. It wasn't Hunter's Mark at all, which is funny to me. Here's the thing that I want to point out. Hey, Como.
Yes?
Isn't there something that what do we use to cast this?
What do you mean? The spells?
Just Mark.
Well, I mean...
A spell slot. We don't get this for free. You have to spend one of your
hold on.
2 spell slots on this.
A barbarian gets Hunter's Mark for free.
Yeah.
I get Hunter's Mark for free. As a barbarian.
Yeah.
What?
I don't get this.
Look, my barbarian is a better ranger than this. This is fucking funny.
Hunter's Mark is a 1d6 extra damage whenever you hit him. For 1 hour, 90 range. Yeah, did they change it? Hunter's Mark is divination. It's a first level spell. It's not a cantrip. So basically, rangers, go jump off a cliff. Please stop playing our game. We don't like you. We don't want you having fun. Be a crappy, crappy, crappy character. You're worse than a rogue in like a level or 2. By a mile. I love that to end it, you have to use a bonus. Why? What is detrimental to having Hunter's Mark up? Why isn't it just a free action? Or... I don't get it. This is such a weird... You can turn it off. I guess. What, for magic detection purposes? Anyway, you can spellcast. Here are some recommendations. It's guidance, which has changed, and Como's probably going to be either happy or sad when we get to that. Have you heard the change yet, Como?
No.
Would you like to see it?
Yes.
Guidance. It's a reaction. Whenever someone makes an ability check and fails.
Finally. Finally, that's exactly how everybody is using it anyhow.
You channel magical insight into a creature who failed ability check that can add 1d4 and turn a success. So a failure into a success. Once they are affected by the spell, they need to take a nap before they can be affected again, no matter who's casting it.
That's bad. But, on the other hand, I can see it.
Yep. It's
I can see why they're doing this.
I think I prefer it because it gets rid of the stupid spam, but it still lets it do what it needs to.
Yeah, exactly. It's not.
It
It's not.
also, you
You're
know what
not
it
going to
also
be
does?
putting it on everyone ever. Yes.
It encourages everyone to do something because everyone has their own immunity. So,
Yes.
yeah,
See, that's clever.
that was not intended, by the way. That was not why they did that. And WotC wouldn't know to do that if they fucking fell into it, which they did.
But that's clever.
But
Still.
it's clever. I would expect that from Paizo, who actually think for 5 seconds. Not much longer, but they think. Anyway, you can prepare primal spells, which are the smelly nature spells. Ew, they're so stinky. They smell like poop and flowers and mushrooms. Ew. Yeah, you gain some slots over time. Daggers are always prepared. Not much exciting stuff to say here. Fighting style. You gain fighting. Even though you're not a warrior, you get these. Because only warrior groups can pick those. Again, kind of a restriction without making class restrictions specifically, which is kind of neat. Because it means that you can future-proof it. You can just say, oh, well, it's a warrior group class. Which makes it easier to slot them in, as do the spell lists. I wonder if that's intended, if they're planning to add more classes over time, or if they're going to stick with what they did with 5e and make shit. Anyway, we can pick archery, defense, or two-weapon fighting, aka you're going to be the bowman, you're going to do the two-weapon thing, or you're a little panty and you want to be a bit more defensive. Defense is the right answer, because I think that's a +1 to AC, and if it is, A, that's lame, and B, you can't go wrong with armor class. The master works all, can't go wrong. Let's see. Defense. Yep, just an armor class bonus. Why not? Always useful. +2 to attack rolls is not bad either, though. I guess depends on what your problems are. Depends on what your problems are. Okay. Ranger subclass. We get feat. We get extra attack. Whenever you take the attack action, you can make another attack. I think this is literally the same text, which, to be fair, don't fix when I'm broken. Yep. That's pretty much it. Roving. Our speed increases by a bit. Not very exciting, but hey, you also get a climb speed and a swim speed equal to your speed, which is now a thing every ranger gets. Which makes it easier for you to do funny things, Como.
I'd like to think it would allow me to do that.
Anyway, get some more expertise over time. You gain Tireless at 11th, which gives you a couple of temporary hit points. Not bad. You get it whenever you finish a short rest, which I don't think this should be a 1d8. I think it should just be a flat amount and just leave it at that, because the proficiency bonus increase is like, what, 1 to 2 points? Who cares? And the 1d8 is like a little too random for my tastes. This should just be like 10 temporary hit points, done, easy, nice, clean. Anyway, you can decrease exhaustion by 1 level. Exhaustion is now basically the same way Sickened works in Pathfinder 2e. It's just a -1 to everything. Still decreases by 1. So they made it both more and less annoying. I think you die at 10. Anyway, Nature's Veil. As a bonus action, you can expend the spell slot, which is like, what? And become invisible until the end of your next turn. It's not magical invisibility. Oh no, wait, it is.
Which means some...
Turning invisible at any time, though, it's not bad.
Yeah, but it's only for 1 turn.
In the original incarnation, it was a 10th level feature, an optional feature from Tasha's Cauldron, and you could use an amount of times equal to your proficiency bonus. Now, you have to spend one of those very, very, very narrow spell slots on this, which feels a little goofy. But it's a nice.
Hold on.
It's a nice
Does
escape
it get
option.
broken? Does it get broken like regular
Nope.
invisibility, or does it
You are
not even
just
say?
invisible until the end of your next turn. So if you
So I
do
can
this,
become invisible and I get an advantage of stabbing someone in the dick.
you can turn this on at your first turn, and they get 2 turns of advantage.
It's fucking weird, but okay.
Considering you can use any spell slot for this, including first, could be worse. Like, that's nice. Lets you do some sneaky stuff. It's kind of goofy. You can do this outside of nature, but those restrictions are not for 5th edition. Anyway, gain blindsight. That's nice, I guess. It's a bit specific, whatever that actually helps you with anything, but sure. This ability is like, listen, WotC, you are allowed to remove classes from your game if you don't want to support them. Increasing this to 1d10, no one cares. It's not increased by your old crit rules, which is already funny enough to me. But more importantly, this is nothing.
They should have just given extra die
Yeah.
rather than just increase a die. Make it like the rogues thing.
Hunter's
Maybe not
Mark
as strong, probably, but
Hunter's Mark never increases in damage. So this is just no one cares. No one cares. No one's gonna wake up and go, "This is the feature that made my life." Which I
mm.
think a lot of these features are. They're kind of nice, but no one's
especially
gonna go like,
especially if you have to burn spell slots for that. It's like, oh, cool, I can roll 1 to 10 extra damage when my weapon is probably going to be doing 3 times as much already.
"Your ranger's gonna be casting Revivify."
No, it won't be.
We can, if he wants to.
Yeah, that's true. But
Anyway,
like, when
subclasses.
when will a ranger prepare it? I
Probably.
guess if you're playing without a cleric or something.
Yeah.
Which again supports the whole idea. It's like, oh, you can play whatever class with no party composition.
You remember the hunter? The
Second?
hunter used to have like 3 choices at every level.
Oh,
They got rid of them. Instead, they now get Toll the Dead, mandatory, which I just once per turn I get a 1d8. Wow. Hunter's Mark affects multiple attacks. This is like one. What the fuck is wrong with you, Watsy? This is so disgustingly insulting. Like, why even the missing hit points, right? Why even the missing hit points? Why not just make an extra 1d8? The missing hit points are irrelevant. Someone else is going to bonk him. Like, this is. I don't get it. The wizard casts Fireball. They're all affected by Hunter's Prey. I'm going to cast Magic Missile, so Hunter's Prey works on everyone. For my friend. Hunter's Lore. This is pretty nice. You get to point at everyone and go, I know what you're weak against. Haha. This is actually pretty cool. I hope they do more with immunities, resistances, and vulnerabilities to make this actually do something. Otherwise, this one is so bad. Multi-attack. You can downcast Conjure Barrage, but Conjure Barrage sucks. Okay, so originally you had Volley. You could use your action to make a ranged attack against a number of creatures within 10 feet of a point you can see within a weapon's range. And you make an attack against all of them, which means if you have a pocket of idiots, you basically look like a baby fireball. But Conjure Barrage is it's a 60-foot cone, and deck save. You know, the one that monsters are fine with, and you do 3d8 damage for a 3rd level slot on a half caster. That's like asking a wizard to spend a 6th level spell slot to do 3d6 in a less manageable area than a fucking fireball. And each creature, it also hits your allies. This is such a shit spell, you don't even get to use it for free. You have to spend your own slots on this. Why? Watsy,
I don't know.
the knife is in this deep already. Stop.
I don't think if they could, they would probably remove the fireball too.
No, not gonna.
Well, they can because they would get crucified.
Superior Hunter's Defense. This one is actually could have been alright, but has the champion problem. Now, in Pathfinder 2nd Edition, the champion has Retributive Strike, if you take the Paladin, which lets you reduce damage and then bonk an enemy, if your ally within 15 feet is hit. The problem is, by that level, enemies are so big that you being adjacent to an enemy and your ally being within 15 feet is not likely. You have to take a feat to expect. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on. The problem here is, you need to be hit with an attack roll. You can use your reaction to half the damage, and you can redirect it to one creature. Now, people, I don't know if you can use this without another target. If you cannot use this without a target to direct the damage to, that's just fucking sad, man. But if you can, that's all right. It's evasion, uncanny dodge, I guess. And being able to deflect it to someone is nice. The fact you have to choose someone other than attacker, It's cute for taking care of minions, I guess. It'll clean up minions pretty easy. But it takes some effort. I've heard people say this isn't likely to happen, but it's more likely than you think. Just won't be very impressive. It's the rogue. Rogue only need dex. You don't need con. You don't need strength. You don't need int. You don't need whiz. You don't need charisma. Why do we have ability scores if you only need one?
I don't know, man.
I don't know. I still don't like them. I think that the problem with ability scores is that they say what you... I like 5-ring system for one major reason. Anyone can technically do anything,
Yeah,
even if they're
I like
untrained.
that one.
But what matters is how they do it.
Exactly.
The rogue is the only one who can do things sneakily, not because he has dex, because he's the only one with air ring. But technically, a fighter could also sneak around. He's just going to be very aggressive about it. He's just going to be charging through places. People are going to know he's
Actually,
there, but they'll never see him.
that's a good example, by the way, too, because, for example, my Barbarian is actually more stealthy than the dedicated stealth rogue in our party in the Thursday thing.
Or maybe you sneak by being aware and slinking from shadow to shadow out of the enemy's view instead of just being sneaky. Okay,
I mean,
but
kind of.
anyway, look at how much text they wrote for this guy. The ranger is just. I know the rogue's the one who's actually getting assassinated, but the ranger just feels like they're just slapping me over and over and over. Thank you, Daddy Watsy. My ass is nice and red. Uh, anyway, it's the rogue. The rogue sneak attacks. Damage is unchanged. Other than that, look at this. What do you think about the ranger? I think there's a lot of levels where I'm like, sure, cute feature. I mean,
I
this.
mean,
They're
they keep.
actually, I think that compared to the bard, I'm a little bit more excited about most of these features than I was with the bard. Every one of these features, I'm like, yeah, that's nice. What about you?
They've kept adding things to Ranger for a decade, and still nobody wants to play it. I think that says a lot more
And the fact that they're not being
about it.
generous now really does say it all,
Yeah,
doesn't it?
it's like, nobody likes it. It's like, in all my years, I've only seen one guy play a Ranger, and it was Flint, and he wasn't really playing a Ranger, honestly. He was playing a Rogue.
Give me a moment. I wanna. Okay, here we go. Creating a rogue. Rogue gets stuff. Oh, they also start with expertise. Okay, 1d8. I think that's the same. Nothing new there. Light armor, still the same. They get 4 skills. Yep, still the same. Oh, although they were always restricted in what they could choose from. Weird that the skill monkey class gets a restricted list. How goofy. And no arcana. So you're going to have to spend your background if you want to get a certain thieving going on. Anyway, simple weapons and martial weapons that have the finesse property. Why did you change short swords then? If the class that wants them, whatever. And they get thieves' tools. Cute. I was told apparently expertise doesn't work on tools anymore. Yeah, it has to be a skill proficiency.
Really?
So no more actually being a master thief. That's just goofy.
That's really weird. Wait, this means that everybody with a Thieves' Tool is going to be as proficient as a Rogue.
Yup.
So fuck Rogues then.
Don't worry. We've not gotten to the actual butt fucking yet, or the spanking. We'll get there.
Okay.
Ready your assholes.
I'm never playing a Rogue, so
Do
why would
not
I prepare
unclench until told. Anyway, they get 110 gold pieces. I love how they put a fucking quiver on here. Like, Watsy,
mine?
no one cares about the minutia. Stop. Just abandon any hope of carrying capacity. Like, either go there, go the gamist route, and put her in, or let it go. Shh. Just give everyone a random an item that's just called the adventuring kit. It is everything an adventurer could be expected. Shh. Let go. Nobody cares. People barely cared in 3.5, and they mostly cared because the dungeon crawling, wilderness exploration aspect required it. And it was kind of interesting. You had to prepare for things, you had to pack your gear, and it was somewhat interesting, but it doesn't work in 5e. This kind of video gamey stuff, like experience, is very limited use case. Just pointing it out, Watsy. I know you're very stupid. You don't know how to design games anymore ever since you cried yourself a river after 4e, but game design exists, and it's developed over the last 10 years. Anyway, if you're a rogue, you get 2 proficiencies. You get a thief's tool and a skill. That's not bad. You can dip into rogue and be as good as the thief as any other rogue. Armor training, you get light armor. I don't know why it's so insistent on the armor stuff, but whatever. I mean, you got that originally, but it just feels kind of insistent. Rogue features, you get expertise, nice and cute. It's also their first feature in the original one. Sneak attack. Como, I'm going to point this out. I'm going
Yeah.
to ask you, what about this has been nerfed?
Let's take a look. Once each attack action, you can deal extra damage to a creature hit when attack roll if you're attacking with a finesse weapon, ranged weapon. So when the requirements is met, you have advantage. This one reveals with an. That's Trying to determine extra damage roll numbers with D6 equal to half your rogue level.
By the way, I do like that they made this a bit more obvious because originally this was like one sentence. Or like,
So
no,
you
the way it was originally is you need to have advantage on the attack roll, and then it goes the attack must be with a ranged weapon or finesse weapon, and then it goes you don't need advantage if they are adjacent to another enemy, which is super weird. However, now it must be an ally, not just any other enemy. Anyway, did you read it?
It's
What?
half the rogue level. Is that the one?
Nope,
Because the die
that's
were.
unchanged. I said that wasn't changed.
Mm.
There's a way to get another sneak attack in a round that they got rid of.
I don't quite remember what that was. I don't think I've ever
Attacks
used it.
of opportunity.
Oh,
It is
yeah, because
only
it's
when
off
you
your
take the
turn.
attack action.
Right. Fair
People.
enough.
So,
People are gonna get mad at this.
that is so mean, Watsy. Rogues didn't have it all that plush. And you just. I'll say it the way that Treant Monk said it. They didn't use the assassin subclass because they kept it for themselves. Ooh, nice one. Anyway, you get Thieves' Cant, but anyone can learn Thieves' Cant if they can learn a rare language, so not so special anymore. I don't think it ever was that special. I don't think the restriction was in play to begin with. Cunning Action. You can use it to dash, disengage, and hide. Hasn't changed. It's cute. Rogue subclass. It's a subclass. Feet. Uncanny Dodge. Used to be, I think, broader. When an attacker hits you with an attack, you can use your reaction to have the damage. Now it must be an attack roll. I don't know where this comes into play exactly, but I heard some people say it's a nerf.
You could use Uncanny Dodge to dodge fireballs and shit, and half the damage from that. No, you can't. Has
If
to be
that's
an
the
attack.
case,
If it's not an attack, you're gonna get fucked.
I guess an attacker that hits you with an attack. Again, the natural language bleeding is the problem here. But if you say so, I haven't played 5th edition enough that I would know if this applies. I wouldn't let it in even in the old one because
Let
it
me
says an attacker on an attack.
let me just compare it to the actual to the way it's written because
Como, what level do rogues get evasion in the original version?
oh gosh, I wish I
7th.
remembered.
They took
Yeah,
it
they
to
do get
9th.
evasion. That's the nerf.
Yeah, it's a
In the dodge
weird
of the
one.
blade with certain area effects, such as Red Dragon's Fiery Breath or a Nice Storm spell. When you're subjected to an effect that allows you to make a dex save, take only half damage, you instead take no damage
That's
if you
evasion,
succeed
not
in it.
uncanny dodge.
Yeah, Uncanny Dodge,
But
starting
yeah,
5th level attacker
they shuffled it around Como so they could fluff out the levels.
that you
Because
can see hits you with an attack, you can use a reaction to half. Okay, fair enough, I just confused the two options. The evasion with Uncanny Dodge is different.
so the
Never
reason they
mind.
did this is the subclass features on 6th, but expertise was on 6th. So expertise got shuffled to 7th, but 7th was where evasion was at. But they can't put it
Huh.
on 8th because feats are there, so they have to put it all the way at 9th.
Oh my
Again,
god,
they have so many levels for so few features. This much shuffling has to happen.
that's disgusting.
It's a chair dance of stupidity.
The chair dance is true.
11th level, chair dancing 2.0. I think this is the same as it always has been. When you make an ability check, and I love that they're capitalizing these now, that uses a skill or 2 proficiency, yeah, you just everything becomes a 10. Not bad. Has some very interesting uses, and also might be why the grapple rules have changed. Feat, subtle strikes. You basically gain pack tactics. If someone is adjacent to an ally, you have advantage. Oh, this is super easy to do because it negates disadvantage too. Slippery Mind used to be Wisdom saving throw proficiency, but now you get 2 others, presumably because Charisma shows up in a bunch of weird places.
Mhm.
Elusive used to be 18th level, now 17th because the capstone got shifted to 18th. You know attack roll against you has advantage as long as you're incapacitated. Pretty much the same. Stroke of luck. You can treat anything as any d20 roll as a 20. If your attack misses a target within a range, you can turn a miss into a hit. Alternatively, fail an ability check. Okay. Oh, but this is stronger because you can basically call a critical into existence. Which, with the new rules, which don't have the critical restriction, basically means you can just say, once per short rest, I crit. Fuck you. But it's 18th level, so good luck getting there. Epic Boon. It recommends undetectability. What did it recommend for the... I noted the bard was Stroke of Luck. Here it's Fortitude. Okay. We'll keep it in mind. Oh, here's the subclass. It's the Thief. Let's take a look at the Thief. I'm gonna adjust my britches. The Thief gets fast hands. In the original version, you can use a bonus action to make a dexterity sleight of hand check, aka Sneaky, sneaky. You can use your Thieves' Tools to disarm a trap or open a lock, or you can use an object. You can no longer use an object. You can use it to search, though. They basically stole some of Pathfinder 2's rules on sneaking.
That's really weird.
But good people, smart artists steal. Well, great artists steal. Good ones borrow. But the point is that you can't use an object. People are pissed about this because there's apparently fun things you can do with interacting with objects. I don't know. I don't care.
Isn't there like a free action essentially for object interaction?
I think the reason but I think the reason they did this is because people kept confusing it for activating magic objects, so they just got rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because Jeremy Crawford got sick and tired of everyone sending him emails about that.
It's unfortunate.
I would love if that is like the pinned tweet on his Twitter page. No, you cannot use an object to use a magic item. Second, story work changed. Originally, you can increase the distance you jump by dexterity. Now you can just use dex for jump checks, for jump actions, which are actions, not movement things. And you can climb speed, which originally didn't cost extra movement. I think this is just for clarity and who cares. But this is no one's going to use this because it's an action, and no one's going to waste their freaking action on that. Supreme Sneak. Originally, you had advantage if you didn't move more than half your speed. You now just have advantage as long as you're not wearing clunky armor. Use magic device. You've learned enough of the workings to improve the use of magic items even if they are not intended for you. You ignore all class, race, and level requirements for use of magic items originally. Basically meaning you can use whatever the hell you want it. Could you? With, scrolls? Spell scroll. Let's see. No, you can use scrolls because they weren't, like, spellless requirements. Now you can attune up to 4 items at once, which implies a lot more magic items are going to be popping up. And whenever you charge this, if you roll a 6, you don't use a charge. And it'll pop up once or twice with a magic item if you use it all day, which is not bad, but I don't like this because it's like a weird random roll.
Mm-hmm.
I would prefer if it's like once per long rest, you can just not have it use a charge or something. It's a bit more reliable. Like, oh, my last charge, but I squeeze out one more. That just feels more fun, you know?
Yeah, exactly. It's like running on less battery. It's like that 1% left over in your phone battery or something.
Anyway, you can cast any scroll that bears a cantrip or first level 1. You can also increase it.
Who the fuck makes scrolls out of cantrips?
I don't know, man. Wizards with too much time on their hands who just want to practice their penmanship.
Yeah, that's why they need to be mercilessly bullied.
Como, I'm going to ask you a question. At what level do we get reliable talents?
Oh my god. Wish I remembered.
11th. You get this at
yeah.
10th. Como. If I'm a rogue.
Yeah.
If I'm a rogue, and I have I have a decent intelligence. I've got a little 11, maybe 12. I got a +1. I got a proficiency in Arcana. Maybe I decide to go expertise at this point.
Yeah.
How high of a spell level can I cast? Always, because I get a 10 as my roll.
Just a cantrip.
No, you can cast up to 5th level spells for free, even if you just have 12 int. Because you always roll at least a 15.
Oh yeah. Because
that is so dumb, Watsy. Screwed the pooch. All you have to do is acquire Arcana at some point, which is easy enough to do in a variety of ways. Thieves' Reflexes. Yeah, you can take 2
can't you just start with it?
What?
Can't you just start with
not as the rogue specifically. The rogue does not have it doesn't have it on this list.
Background.
You can do that's what I said. You can use the background.
Oh, yeah.
Thieves' Reflexes. You can take a second bonus action on your turn. Originally, you just got a whole extra turn on your round. Your first turn on your normal initiative, and the second one on your initiative -10. Which people say this is not great because, like, I guess getting some extra dashes and disengages is nice, or hides. I don't know. Not a bonus action charge for 2-weapon fighting. This isn't as great as it sounds. But well, what do you think about the rogue? I think it's fine. As long as they nerf wizards accordingly. Because this is gonna...
sure it plays differently, though.
It's mostly the same anyway. Alright, let's...
Slightly differently, they took away a couple, like, edge cases, which I've never really seen anyone use. But, my sample size is small.
Would you like to vroom vroom through the feats?
Yes, I would like to.
By the way, whenever you reach 20th level, you from that point
Hmm.
forward every 30,000 experience. Why are you using experience, Watsy? Nobody in
Nobody
5e
uses
uses them.
experience.
I'm not even talking about the people that you don't talk to who aren't on Reddit. I'm talking about people on Reddit have stopped using experience. Stop. Stop, Watsy. You are pretending that people exist that don't exist. I listen, nobody is going to use 5e experience. 3.5 maybe because there's a certain charm to it, but nobody's going to do it for 5e. The fucking wild amount. Like I'm pretty sure that the undernet nether thing tells you just don't bother. And I don't want you to because experience doesn't work for anything that goes narrative. You need to fight monsters. You need to have random encounters. You need to bump into people. Get out of here. Anyway, feats can be manifold. Anyway, first is the ability score improvement. It works exactly as a normal ability score improvement does, but they did it like this so that you are a little more encouraged to go for ability scores. To feats, all of which, by the way, increase one score by one.
All of them now do that?
Yep, everything is a half feat. Which, by the way, makes this really bad. Because it's like, I can increase my thing by one. Like, I guess it just pushes you more to go for this one if you have an uneven score at first level. But
Hmm.
Actor was always a half feat. I think it's mostly the same.
To be perfectly honest, I've never really had a desire to use half feats unless I was rolling for stats specifically.
Yep. Let me just put this filter on. Clear player's handbook. Thank you. Alert is fundamentally no athlete. You can also increase your con by one. Before it was only strength or dex. When you are prone, you only take 5 movement to get up instead of half. Climbing, you can climb speed instead of just costing extra movement. And you make a running jump after 5 feet instead of 10 feet. That's awful. Now you just have advantage when taking the jump action, which is a bit nicer. Charger was, yep, now it's strength or dex. Requires proficiency with martial weapon. Where you take the dash action, you gain 10 extra feet of movement. That's cute. At the end of a dash, you can always make one melee attack or shove, and I think it's the same, although it gets some little extra damage. That's pretty cute. That's alright. This is nice utility. Oh, originally it was 5 extra damage. Why did they turn it into a die roll? I guess for crits? Just stop it with the crits, Watsy. I get it. But stop. Crossbow expert got nerfed if you're
Oh,
a wizard dipping into it for no good reason.
ignore the loading. That's still fine. Fire and melee. Okay. And you can have a hand crossbow in the offhand.
Yeah, this just lets
Not
you
I've
add
had a.
damage modifier, like dual wielding. The nerf is that you can't use this for spells.
Oh,
Just crossbows.
well, I mean, that was a bug, not a feature.
Some people are also complaining that apparently it makes the hand crossbow less good because you can't get an extra one as a bonus action, but eh.
Who cares?
Technically, technically this kind of augments it. It's actually better because you already get it without the bonus. Whatever. Defensive duelist. You get a +1. Well, what was it again? Yeah, it's pretty much the same. You can use your reaction to plink, but you also get the dex. Dual wielder. You get a +1 when holding in your. Nope, that's not there. Quick draw. You can grab more. That should just be part of normal weapon fighting, please. Enhanced dual wielding. When you have one. Oh, you can just dual wield whatever you want. Yep. Okay, yeah, that's pretty much the same, but they removed the AC bonus and replaced it with Dex or Strength. Okay. Nothing exciting. Durable. Durable got a buff, as you know. Increases your con, gives you advantage on death rolls, and as a bonus action, you
Yep.
can suck
This
up
is
some.
like a. This is pretty much. Yeah.
Considering the bonus
This
actions aren't used as much, this is really good.
this is pretty good unless you're playing a barbarian multiclass that
If
I'm
you are hit
playing,
with any
which
effect, that's like if you heal, it's also
yeah.
nice.
Unfortunately, the DM said that they're not gonna allow any of the new ones just yet.
Aww. Elemental
That's
Adept.
fine. Ooh, also in their setting, certain feats are only available to certain peoples and
Yes.
factions. So I couldn't get a Sentinel, which was sad.
Gotta shake the right hands. Anyway, I think this still works the same. You ignore resistance and ones become twos. That's alright.
That's
That's
okay.
that's alright. You're probably just using it for fireball. Anyway, it's the boons. These boons are garbage for 20th level things. Once per initiative, you get to hit with a melee attack you miss. Yay! I dealt an extra bit of damage. Nobody cares. Dimensional travel. I can cast a second level spell once without a spell slot until I roll initiative or short rest. Considering that Misty Step is not, I mean, it's all right, but like I'm level 20. This just feels kind of sad.
I mean, the times when I want to use Misty Step is for the fucking first level, not the 20.
Epic boon of energy resistance. You can energy resistance. You can change it. All right. This is actually pretty good. A good reason to do some research before you fight a bad guy. Fortitude gives you 40 hit points. Whenever you recover hit points once per round, you can increase it by your con mod. It's all right. It buffs every heal
Yeah.
you get. If you happen to have durable, also buffs that one. Irresistible offense. The damage you do always ignores resistance, which applies to everything. If you happen to be a wizard, you might want to dip into warrior. No, you can't dip because you can't get a 20th level feat if you do. I think. I don't know how that works. I imagine you can't. But if you can, worth it. Just worth it. Because this does not qualify weapons. By the way, this is stupid. This, as a warrior, only really applies to like a few creatures, and you should have a magic weapon by this point. And if you don't, your GM is an
Yep.
asshole. So,
I mean, it could be a
flaming weapon?
low magic campaign.
It could be. Still, like at 20th level, why are you playing a low magic? I don't know. It just feels wrong in a weird way. Like, this should be
Yeah.
for wizards. Like an elemental mastery upgrade or something. Epic boon of luck. You can roll a d10 and add it to the test. I don't. You get a bardic inspiration for yourself. I guess.
You
No,
couldn't before?
this is
I
no.
was assumed you could.
This is for experts. Like anyone can take this at 20th level.
Ah,
It's just.
okay.
I don't know. It just doesn't feel very exciting. Night sight. You gain in dim and like darkfish. You can become invisible. Oh, night spirit. You remain invisible immediately after you take an action. So you are invisible for the action or the reaction. There are no restrictions on this. You can move around as much as you want. You can take free open door actions. You can take bonus actions. And you stay invisible indefinitely. This is pretty neat.
Mhm.
I'm not going to argue. I mean, it's a bit slow in combat, but outside of combat, it's just nice. Peerless aim. When you miss, you can turn it. You can cause the attack to hit instead.
That way?
It's literally just this one. Same group.
And it only works once per.
I don't.
No, but it's a ranged attack rather than a melee attack.
Yeah, I don't know why they made the difference.
You know what's funny?
What
Thrown
is?
weapons are technically melee attacks, I think.
I
or
heard
of
something
the sort.
goofy like that. Yes. Anyway, epic boon of recovery. You can use a bonus action to regain over hit points equal to half your hit point maximum. Once you do it, you can't use again until a long rest. In addition, every death saving throw you
Hmm.
succeed. You succeed if it's not a 1. So, that actually feels pretty cool. That feels like cheating. Epic level boon should feel like cheating. This feels like cheating. This feels like cheating. This feels like the GM is just pitying you. Skill proficiency in all skills. Sure. I guess. There are better ways to get that aren't this. Your speed increases by 30 feet, I guess. It's, most people play Theater of the Mind, and your friends are still slow, so overland travel isn't any faster, so sure. You can't be seen or heard by magical means while you are hidden. Sure. I guess. That's specific. I imagine some people can make use of that somehow, but it feels like homework. Of the Unfeathered, you can just end grappled and restrained with a bonus action. You can take the disengage action. This is really good because it basically gives you the rogue thing and it makes it super strong. Especially since grappling is now easier with the punchy thing. Fighting style archery, +2 to attack rolls on archery's defense. You gain +1 armor class. I think this one's still the same. Dueling, +2 to damage rolls if you only have a melee weapon in hand. Fighting style grade weapon fighting. 1 or 2, you can re-roll it, take the new roll. Fighting style protection, you can impose a -2. Used to be a disadvantage. For my reaction, though. I mean, a -2 is more reliable than disadvantage, so that's nice. Should be just your proficiency modifier. That'd be a bit more nice over time, especially when the big boys get big. 2-weapon fighting, you can add your modifier to the extra attack, which again just feels like a really goofy, like, we took something away to give it back to you.
Yes.
Grappler. Let's go back to the feats. You advantage on attack rolls against grappled creatures. That's cute. Grappling is now a bit more easy to do. By the way, if you hit someone with an armed strike, you can just grab them for free, and then this kicks in. And with this, you can move them around wherever you want. So a monk goes up to someone, they grab him, they finish their attacks, just beat the shit out of him, and then they just throw him off a cliff.
I mean, I wish I could do that.
Well, pick this up and have a hand free, and you can do it
Yeah,
too.
but it's the level fucking 20 thing.
Do you know Great Weapon Master? It's gone! You no longer take -5 for +10 damage.
Wait, is it level 20 now? We just scroll up a little bit.
No, these are all like, this is a 4th level feat.
Ah, fair enough.
We've gone past
Fair
those.
enough, fair enough, fair enough.
Great Weapon Master is no longer the big thing everyone is always talking about. You still get on a crit, or when you reduce someone to 0 hit points, you get to make another attack as a bonus action, which, considering how 2-weapon fighting works, bit nicer. Heavy Weapon Mastery, it's just nice. No, can't complain. It means proficiency damage extra, but I mean, hey, it's damage. It's probably it's about as much damage as a Barbarian gets on Rage. So heavily armored, you gain armor training. That's it.
Sounds like Star Wars D20.
Exactly. Heavy armor master. You decrease damage from slashing, piercing, blitzing by your proficiency modifier. I think originally it was just 3. Yeah, it was originally just 3. By the way, it says any, so it now affects magical, unlike before. So just a nice little increase. Got a little buff. It was already pretty good. Now it's just nice. I mean, over time it gets worse because enemies start dealing ridiculous damage in single hits. But hey, inspiring leader. I think we already saw this one. You can just give everyone a little extra boost. I don't like 2d4 plus proficiency bonus. That's not a lot. Your level plus charisma also wasn't all that. It's just not great either.
But at the same time, it's a 4th level spell.
It's a nice
4th level
buffer.
feat.
If you have a ranger, though, this loses a lot of efficacy.
The biggest problem with all this sort of stuff is that it adds, at least for me, it adds a lot of features that will just not get used later on. So, cool, you're going to use it once or twice or maybe 5 times, and then by the end of the game, you'll just forget to use it.
Fair enough.
Like, you want feats that you can take at any level that will be useful throughout the whole game.
Gotcha.
Otherwise, like, why even bother? Just do an ASI.
Gotcha. Keen mind. You do not know which way is north. You do not know the number of hours left until the next sunrise or sunset, and you do not automatically recall anything. You can, however, take the study action as a bonus action, and you gain a proficiency or expertise. Not bad.
It's depressing. Who the hell uses study action in combat? I've never seen anyone use that.
Well, it's a new thing. I don't think it was in original 5th edition. Lightly armored. It's proficiency in medium armor and shield. Before, they were split up, and now it's just one. So, I'm a little confused why it doesn't come with an ability boost. Because so many others have had it.
I'm confused why they didn't just organize all armor into 1 feat.
Yeah, it really doesn't matter at all. Like in Pathfinder 2nd Edition, armor doesn't really matter when you get down to it. Because the only armor that matters is heavy armor, because the only armor that gets an actual AC bonus is heavy armor. Otherwise, you can use Dex and always hit the cap.
Yeah.
Oh. Alright. Mage Slayer. That's a cool video game. Should play it sometime. Increases strength or dex, concentration, disadvantage. I think that's the same. Yep. Creature with a 5 feet makes cast a spell. Not there. You just get. You can succeed. Instead of 5 feet, spell resistance. So, got shuffled around a bit. Less anti-spell. No disruption. Just you can break spells and you are resistant to them. I don't know. It doesn't really feel Mage Slayer to me. Medium Armor Master. You can increase by 3 instead of by 2. So if you're a bit of a skittish rogue or a skittish fighter who has 16 dex, that's a way to go. Mounted Combatant. You've developed a bond with your mounts. Ugh. It's never gonna happen. 5e. It's never gonna happen. Advantage on. Okay, that's new. The half stuff's new. Mounted strike. You have advantage within 5 feet of your mount. Yep, that's the same. Leap aside. It's mostly the same.
Hmm.
Although for some reason this costs a reaction now. I love that your mount gets evasion before the rogue does. Because it's 4th instead of 9th.
I mean, if your rogue is also horse.
God damn it. Observant. You can search as a bonus action. You can become proficient in a skill. That's it.
That's it?
Yep, no plus
You don't
5
get
to your
plus
things.
5? That's lame.
You also can't read lips anymore.
That's
Shame.
lame.
I
I used
know.
it like twice, but it's still lame.
Roll Master. I think this is one of those ones that people really like to think about. Let's see, we take the attack action, you can take a bonus action, make another swing. 1d4. I think that's the same. Weapon that has the heavy and reach properties, which means I think quarterstaffs don't qualify anymore. Reactive Strike. When you have a heavy weapon that has reach properties, you can reaction to enters your reach. Okay. This isn't a. By the way, this doesn't stack with Sentinel anymore. Because Sentinel requires an opportunity attack, and you only make a weapon attack. So, yeah. Resilient. The same as ever. A Ritual Caster. Taskmaker. Ooh. I think before you could cast any ritual spell or something. I don't know how it worked. I heard some people complain about this, but maybe I'm just dumb. Oh, quick ritual. Benefit you could... you can cast... Okay. Using its regular casting time. Oh, that's cute. That's actually pretty alright. Because I think there's some nice rituals. Throwing them out is nice. Sentinel. Oh, it can even be any other ritual you can cast, so it's actually something you might want to get as a wizard.
Makes sense. Or other casters, maybe.
Sentinel, when you hit them with opportunity attack, speed becomes 0 for the rest of their turn. Yep, that's still there. Guardian, when they disengage or hit someone else that doesn't attack yet, that's pretty much the same, but they rolled it up into 1. Sharpshooter also got hit with the banhammer. Long range doesn't impose disadvantage. Firing into melee with ranged weapons, no disadvantage. And you ignore cover, which pretty much mostly just the same. Although the firing into melee is new because crossbow expert. Shield Master. Anything new here? I think this is still just the same. You can interpose your shield. Oh, you can take no damage. Yeah, that's already the same. Ugh. Shield Bash. If you aren't incapacitated, add to any dex saving throw. Okay, that's removed. Skulker. Let's just keep it moving because I'm getting bored.
That's fine. We can call it in about 10 minutes. I'll have to go anyhow.
We're almost there, really.
Yep.
Skulker. Exploiting. You have advantage on stealth checks as part of the hide action. Cute. Okay, this is all changed because of how it works. Speedster. Never heard of that one. Your speed increases while you aren't having... Oh, that's cute. Okay.
I like that.
Spell Snipper. Here we go.
Ooh, and you can dash over difficulty range. That's nice.
Yeah. That can come in real useful. But you have to take the dash action. And
which
only
means
after you use the dash action, so do it before.
Yeah. Have to surrender your attacks.
Anyway, this is basically the long range shooting for wizards. Increase range. Ugh, it's goofy.
See how they fucked up the Warcaster, because that's the only feat that I actually
God.
take.
If you have a spell that's at least 10 feet that requires to make an attack roll, you can increase by 60. Oof. It's a big increase for the small ones, but I don't know any. Warcaster is, I heard it changed, or maybe I'm just imagining things. You have advantage on concentration checks. Cool. And when a creature provokes attack of opportunity, must have one action. It's written out one action instead of with a 1. Yeah, that's still the same. Somatic components. You can perform the somatic components even when you have weapons or shield in one or both hands.
That seems to be the same as before.
Yep.
Why did they put it here?
Don't hold wands though.
Why?
Because technically speaking, you can only replace somatic components. You can only replace material components with somatic components. Something that, like, it's really confusing. I think...
Yeah.
Oh, forgot how it worked, but it's stupid, and I forgot about it, so it's probably dumb. Anyway, weapon training is back, and it's a little better. It's just everything now, and it's not called Weapon Master. Let's skirt to the rules. I'm getting annoyed because these feats they sure were there. I don't know if they make the 20 freaking levels worth it, but whatever. Ability checks. Here's the DCs because we already wrote them down, you dumb fucks.
Yes.
I can't believe you have to remind you that to look in the goddamn GMG for this. Anyway, Artisan's Tool, they cost the money. Armor training, it just gives you proficiency. I don't. Why? Why? You had the proficiency system, why are you moving away from it? If you don't have it, you take a disadvantage. Okay, that involves strength, dexterity, can't cast spells. That's not that bad. It doesn't include saving throws, though. If you equip a shield and lack armor training, you don't gain an armor class bonus from the shield. Oh, that's mean. Attack, you can equip as part of an action, so as part of the action. You can move between attacks, same as ever. Although this apparently helps with like 2 weapons or something. Arcane Spells, draw from the Arcane list. Bark Skin's been changed, now gives you temporary hit points instead of armor class because no one fucking cared about the armor class bonus. It's also a bonus action, so you can just... Spells. Blind Sight. You can effectively see within a range without relying on physical sight. Within that range, you can see everything. Okay. Cover still applies. Climb speed. Okay. Creature type. D20 tests. If you roll a 1, yeah, they changed this. This is better, but I still don't know what it's for. Other than to make inspiration a thing, but like... I don't know, man. Maybe put some narrativist... Like, I talked about this at the beginning, but I really do think that they would benefit from putting in some narrativist systems. Systems that, cater to the drama, to the characters,
Yeah.
to motivations. And them moving away from it and going to, like, hard gaming is like... You're not going to
Why?
outgame... You're not going to outgame Pathfinder, because they are the gamiest fucking game out there. They're just a board game. They're just 4E. You're not going to
Yeah.
outdo simulationist-wise games that actually try to simulate things like Dungeon World and shit. Like, what are you at this point, 5e? You're
These guys are
nothing.
trying to sit on. These guys are trying to sit with on 3 chairs at the same time, but unfortunately their ass is not that
You
big.
can sit on 3 chairs. You can make a game that tries to cater to this thing, but it doesn't do it well. It doesn't know what it's catering to. It doesn't know what it's designing and why. It just goes,
Master
I need
Roll.
to have rules, and there needs to be balance, and people want to fight things. But it doesn't think about why that works, or how that functions, or why people enjoy that. It's like these people invented a whole bunch of important information regarding board games, like I forgot his name, but like the guy who made Magic the Gathering, he did like studies or something, and he wrote like about player types, and they just forgot it. They've just
Yep.
forgotten how to make games.
I feel like all the relevant people who actually had an idea or were actually passionate about that sort of shit have long ago left the company or just passed away or something, and the people who are left are just going through the motions without realizing what the fuck they're actually
I
doing and
imagine
why.
that Jeremy Crawford is very tired after doing this for years and answering like questions, the same ones over and over again. So a
Yeah,
lot
it's
of
the
this
same
is
thing that
probably is just his manifesto, really.
yeah, a lot of people. Well, I mean, have you remember Digital Extremes? They've
Uh,
tried over like I think so far at least 4 times to make a game that's not Warframe, and everybody's like, that's cool, but what about Warframe? And you're just tired of it. And so part of me thinks that they're trying to sabotage it with the changes they're making it so that they
That'd
could
be
actually
awesome.
finally go and do something else. I
That'd
mean,
be
it
so
would be
cool.
nice. That'd be nice.
That's such a baller move, though.
I
Anyway,
mean, I still
difficult to.
like the game.
Someone pointed something else. We'll get to this. A space that contains a creature that isn't tiny, furniture that is small or
Hmm.
larger, heavy snow or heavy undergrowth, ice. We'll get to this. Liquid that is between shin and waist deep. Any deeper you need to swim. A narrow opening that is sized for a creature of 1 size smaller. A pit or another gap of 2 and 5 feet. Rubble or slope. This wording is terrible.
It's very specific
Come on.
while it's being
This.
non-specific at all.
What does it mean for a space to contain ice?
It would have to be a block of ice.
What if I drop an ice cube? The space technically
Yeah.
contains ice. It's now difficult terrain.
Yeah.
I know that's stupid reading, but if you're going to make a
Doesn't
stupid
doesn't
fucking game that's just game rules,
that's
people are going to game it.
look, I'm gonna create a 5 foot cube of ice. It's now difficult terrain, not like impassable.
My problem is, if 5e was a narrativist game or a
Mm.
simulationist game, and it was encouraging you to use your noggin and your common sense, it could get away with this. But it's such a gamey game. It's going that Pathfinder direction of everything is games. It's not a role playing game. It's just a game. Then people are going to look at this and go, any ice qualifies because why would it be anything else? Anyway, Divine Spells. Exhausted, as I mentioned, is different now. It affects your spell DCs and all your tests. Get 10 and you fucking die. Long rests remove it by 1. If it reaches 0, you're no longer exhausted. So exhaustion is like a condition overall, but also a severity. Expertise only applies to certain things, like only skills, no tools. Fly speed. You can stay aloft until you landfall or die. Wasn't hover like... No, hover's incapacitated. Yeah. If you have the hover trait, you stay even one. Okay, cool. So that's still the same. Gaming pieces, game sets cost 1 gold apiece, so you can spend your 150 gold buying 150 game sets. The gambling addicted ranger shows up.
Have you heard that 99% of gamblers quit before they win big?
Anyway, when you're grappled, your speed is 0 and can't change. I think this is still the same. Guidance, we already mentioned this. It has bolstered temporary immunity. Help! You can help people, which I think they changed it a bit because some people got a little annoyed at how it was, or something. I don't know. People got fussy. Heroic Inspiration is just what inspiration is, but they gave it a fancy name for no good goddamn reason other than to make it sound better than it is. I still think that a better designed system would not give you a stupid reroll you can get from other sources, but would give you an automatic success you can bank. Or a crit. You know, if people are talking about how they want crits to be more important, well, they make a fucking system to let you bank a crit, and now you can start having fun with crits. Because otherwise you end up
Yes.
with 4E where it's like, oh, I rolled a crit. And like 4E does it. And Starfinder does it. They have these, 5% of the time you get this really cool thing that makes your weapon cool and unique. And I'm like, 5% of the time? My thing does something cool that I bought it specifically to do the cool thing? It's like, yes! And I'm like, can it be more often? It's like, no! Of course not! Why would you want the cool thing to happen? And I just hate it, and it makes my head hurt that Starfinder went that way. Why, Paizo? Why? Starfinder's such a breeding ground of all the bad ideas they do. Anyway, you can only have one. Even though it's garbage, you can only have one. Hidden. Concealed. You aren't affected by any effect that requires the target to be seen. Also for allies. If your allies can't see you, like the bard needs to, he can't help you. Surprise! You are, you have advantage on initiative, so no surprise rounds is what some people are thinking. Attacks against you have disadvantage, your attacks have advantage. It ends when you hit someone, blah blah blah. Verbal component, so you can do somatics and stuffs, or you aren't behind cover. So you need to stay in cover for this to work, and you effectively lose it, but rogues can do it more easily now. Hide, you have to make a DC 15 check. People are complaining. I think it's great because it takes a lot of pressure off the GM to check everyone's passive perception. Passive perception still works, but considering that you're checking a monster sheet when they come up, it's a bit easier to do then. So
Yep.
I like this more. I think people who complain, shush, get out. This is easier. This is good because I think that most people who play this game don't play this game. They don't care about the rules. Give them simple, fun rules, and they'll have simple, good fun. This, by the way, is simulationist because it's trying to. Actually, this is gamist because it's trying to achieve parity and trying to be simple to game instead of being realistic or trying to emulate a genre. And it's also not dramatic because dramatic would. I don't know what drama would do with this. Incapacitated. You can't take actions or reactions. Your concentration's broken. You can't speak. If you're surprised, you have disadvantage. If you are incapacitated and for some reason hidden, you roll initiative normally. So if you're going to fall unconscious, do it behind a block or something. Influence. You can talk to people. This was already in the book, but they decided to put it in again because no one reads the fucking DMG. Gosh, maybe you should go the Paizo route and just make one book. Anyway, here's what you can do. You can talk to people and then they'll like you a little more. Invisible. You can't be seen.
Is that how just talking to people works in
Yeah.
general?
You can't be seen, so you aren't affected. I don't know whether you're using different phrasing. Equipment you are wearing can also not be seen. Surprise! You have advantage on initiative, and the same is hidden. This is why not just write invisible? You cannot be seen, and therefore you benefit from hidden, or something like that. This feels weirdly duplicate. Jump is an action, and it's a skill roll, and it basically works like it does in Pathfinder, and I don't know why, and I don't like it. It's goofy. Light lets you use it for extra attacks, blah blah. Long rest, you gain all your hit points, gain all your hit dice. Hit point maximum is restored to normal. All ability scores are restored. Would have been nice for, I think it was Nishi, who got brain blasted by a brain devourer in the dungeon. And they were just
Was
dumb
it
for like
Nishi?
several days.
I know for a fact that I got blasted in Kolgora.
I actually kind of like when Nishi got Brain Blast. It was a very fun moment. Magic. When you take the magic action, why not just call it the cast a spell action? The magic action. I guess it's to encapsulate non-magical things. Move. You can break up your move. You can move around other creatures. Blah blah blah. Swim speed, special speeds, musical instrument, primal spells, ritual casting. Wait, what? If the ritual tag, search action. Oh yeah. You can use the search. Insight is for state of mind. Medicine is for creature's ailment. Perception is for concealed things, and survivals for tracks or food. I like this. Clarify something that people might be confused about. Short sword is now a simple weapon. Slowed, same as before. You're slow, so slow, you have disadvantage and all that stuff. Study, you can take a look at something or think about something. Arcana is for magic garbage, including magic garbage. History is for people and places. Investigation is for sneaky traps and gadgetry. Nature is for plants.
Actually, it doesn't actually show places. It just says events and people.
Good luck remembering areas. There are no skills for this. People
Yeah.
have no spatial memory.
Wait, no. There is. It's called making notes.
Yep. And religion is for religious stuff. Swim speed, tool proficiency, teleportation. This is all obvious stuff. Wait, what? Oh, wait, what? If you have proficiency with the tool, you can add your proficiency bonus to any ability check to use the tool. If you have proficiency in the skill that is also used in the check, you can advantage on the check too. Oh, that's nice. But what about expertise? Oh, whatever. We'll figure it out later when they get yelled enough. We're almost there, Como. Teleportation is a special kind of transportation. Disappear and reappear somewhere instantly. This doesn't expend, never provokes. When you teleport, equipment is taken with you. So it's just explaining it to me.
It does, though. It does, though.
What?
Well, no, not quite, because the Echo Knight fighter thing is not a teleportation technically, just swapping places.
Yep. Tremor sense. I don't know if they changed anything. I don't bother to look it up. Unarmed strike. We're almost there. I think this is still the same. So, I still think that they're going the wrong way. They're making things too gamey, and they are shooting themselves in the foot because I don't think the vast majority of people who play this game want more game rules. They want more fun rules. These are not fun rules. These are stupid min-maxy bullshit rules that I don't want anywhere near role-playing games ever again. Go play a video game, you fucker. Go play Dark Souls. Go play an MMO. You'll get this fun stuff without all of the garbage. And you want to know the fun part? You can play those games whenever you want to, and you can play them with friends too.
Oh my
But you
god,
don't
I
have
wish
all
I
this
could play
stupid
Dark
shit.
Souls.
Ugh.
But I wanted to wait for a sale, and then I never could buy it, so fuck it.
Point is, I don't like where this is going. I think it's going bad ways. I hope they crash and burn. Because I think that they are tainting the industry with terrible ideas like ability scores used in the
Yes.
worst possible ways, and their stupid gamist. Oh, everything's got to be balanced, and everyone's got to have video games. You know what I like? You know what I really fucking like about Iron Claw and Legend of the Five Rings? One of you can be a soldier man who can actually fight, and one of you can be a dumb peasant who happens to know a lot about a certain topic, and that's fine. You can exist in the same party, and you can both feel super cool. And I hate that in freaking this game, you can be a wizard and still know how to fight. And I hate it. I hate it so much because it abandons the narrative, it abandons the simulation of a genre, and it doesn't understand what it's doing. I hope you enjoy the tiny Reddit audience that cares about the min-maxing people because I don't know, man.
I do care about min-maxing, but I can't be arsed to do
I
it
don't know
every
about the
time.
virtual VTT either. Like I've heard that apparently like a lot of people do play in person. I don't I don't know about this.
I've
I
never
think that
played in person.
a lot of their growth it was Stranger Things and Corona and the
Yes.
initial explosion from Critical Role. I don't know if they can sustain this. I do not know if like all that needs to happen is for a system to show up that gets a little bit of traction or has like Critical Role's backing or
Mhm.
something like that. And it can just slide in as D&D fades, and everyone who cares and wants to play their non-D&D 5 normie game, they have their books, they don't care. Like I hope they crash and burn so that someone new can grow from the ashes instead of them casting such a large shadow that everyone chokes and dies and makes 5e supplements that don't need to be there, that are garbage because 5e doesn't support them because 5e is designed to be a gamey game for min-maxers. For the love of God, I will pop open. I will buy a nice drink or a nice meal if I hear that WotC is dethroned as world's ist game. Because that's what it is. It's not world's greatest role playing game. It's world est game. It's the ist game. All the other
It
words
sure
are
is
no
one of the
longer
games
applicable.
in the world.
It sure is an isty game in the world. Anyway, this has been a grump who has significant issues with gamist games and the constant perpetuation of the concepts that it promotes, and how it's ruining role playing.
Yes, and
I'm
it's
too
been
smart for my own good, is what I like to imagine. I might just be too stupid for my own good.
yeah, and it's
Como,
been
closing thoughts?
closing thoughts. Well, they've changed a whole lot of everything while also changing pretty much nothing. They've changed a few things that I disapprove of. They've changed a few things I actually like guidance. Um, I'm a little dissatisfied with this. I
If
wish they
this
would do more.
if this patch was released like a few years into you playing, would you have liked it
Yeah.
more?
But now everybody's ready to move to one D&D or whatever the fuck.
Well, I will say one thing. I'm very glad that Mike Merles and Jeremy Crawford have performed an incredible magic trick. They took D&D and they put the head where the torso was and the torso where the head was. Very impressive, but I would like to see a magic trick where he turns a card into another card instead.
Yeah. Ah, I just hope that one day somebody will make a system that's just fun to play without having to modify it.
What do you mean?
Oh, this rule is stupid. I don't want to use it. Oh, this rule is blah. I have to change it. Oh, this thing doesn't work. I want to do it this way. It's like, and you keep always making like this Frankenstein monster of a campaign.
True.
I just want like a game that you get into and do stuff, but I want this to be D&D. Remember, we got into the circles, not the circles, the rings of Legend of the Ring, of the Five Rings. That was absolutely workable.
Yeah.
Just out of the box, and it was really fun.
Because it's not D&D and it's not sitting on its
Yeah.
ass.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Thanks for being here, Como.
it's fine.
I'll see you again in a
Don't worry
month for
about
the next one.
it.
I'll probably see you earlier for like the weekend games and everything, but
Well, of course, yeah, but I'll be here when you
I'm
need it.
pretending to the audience.
I mean, look, it's always nice to have the audience. We didn't really have, well, I mean, we do have an audience today. We have one extra person in the chat,
It's
but they
incredible.
haven't really said anything. I mean, look, it's still it's still nice to just talk about these things, even if nobody except for us listens to it in the end.
Yes, that's why I'm still doing this.
Exactly. That's why I write down my thoughts, even if they're
No one will read it.
weird. Even, well, I mean, I wouldn't want people to read it, otherwise I would end up in a loony bin.
Well,
It's like, isn't it weird you can never really be absolutely honest about something because there are people who just fucking call you crazy?
yeah.
Uh, anyway,
Nice talking
again,
to you. Good luck with
nice
your
talking to you
students.
too. Yeah, I got a lesson starting in like a few minutes. The guy's late, so that's why I'm still
Como,
sticking here.
before you
Yes,
go, someone
yes.
replied to your meme.
Oh, where? Let's take a look.
Big gulps, huh?
Big gulps, huh?
So, chunks, huh?
Yeah, but take a look at the things that I've sent you before.
Okay, let's
I
have
got
a look-see. Update your information to get paid. No form of payment.
Yeah, so
Oh,
they banned my form of payment, and they say keep fucking pestering me. It's
that'll
like, well,
teach the Russian government.
yeah, we're holding your money hostage.
Using Google AdSense to fund the war.
I guess
Oh,
it's retarded.
God.
Like, look, I've been on this stupid planet for 4 decades, and holy fucking shit, not a day has gone by when I wasn't screwed up by some sort of Westerner in an attempt to get at someone else. Like, they're not attacking me; they're attacking me to get at fucking at the government, for example.
Funnily
I
enough,
hate that.
I do know someone who needs to see that Banjo-Kazooie picture, and I do like that boy that I did not scroll past. What a gentleman.
Yes, yes, exactly. I like the little tiny little wiggle tail, and I like their little happy face. I wish I could be that boy right now. I wish I
Chuchinoko.
could be that boy right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tsushinoko real. What about that video from Deep Rock Galactic?
Oh, you know what? Let me give it a little. What the fuck? Oh, it just fell back out again. By the way, I do intend.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can make the payment, but I do intend. You do editing, right?
Uh, yes.
I do
Well,
want.
depends on what sort of editing you want. Video, audio, that sort of stuff.
The thing I was thinking of, if I ever go back to AMC and actually like do it, I do want
Yeah,
an editor to help out with it, and I want to actually like do some proper like make it an actual LP because I have a certain respect for the game ever since I actually completed the last chapter that they released, and apparently they're updating it. Oh, man, I need to get back to the Kako Awards too. Oh, there's so much on my head right now. I have
that's fine.
whatever Temptober. I have daily videos I need to manage.
It's okay. Don't stress out about it. And yeah, if you need some editing, just hit me up. I can do something.
I do intend to like pay you for this properly, by the way. I'm not gonna.
That's that's fine. We can discuss it later, not on the stream.
Yes. Bye bye. Say bye to stream.
Goodbye.
Oh no, I accidentally opened Foundry.